All right, so let me just say this, man, just so y'all understand. It don't matter who you are, what name you got, you could always be, you know, at the losing end, you know? So I don't want anybody to think that this game is sweet and a dude tell you, I ain't never been knocked out, I ain't never been this, I ain't never been that. We all been something because we take our lumps and that's how we become who we are. Now, we go through all types of trials and tribulations, and I want y'all to really understand. Like I said, we got, you know, my man Titus. You understand what I'm saying? From DC, that's when I think he was stabbed approximately like 36 times by the ABs. Big Red came up here, talked about it. You know, my man Antoine White, like I said, you know, he was hitting the head with a lock boot. You know, suckers do what they do. You know what I mean? And, you know, Harry Hunt, like I said, lost his life. You understand? I mean, but we all men at the end of the day, and that don't take away no stripes from you because you was hit in the head, stabbed. It's all a part of the game. For a dude to sit here and say, oh, he got stabbed or he got hit in the head or, you know, he got shot. You know what I mean? That's a dude that ain't out there. That's the dude that I say, sit back and watch the show and enjoy the ride. You don't always have to open your mouth because you make yourself look like a fool. You don't know a fool until he opens his mouth. That's what I want you to understand. But I just want y'all to know that anybody, it don't matter what name you got, the biggest names that I was with, you know what I mean? We always into something where we was at the losing end. You understand? But we came back victorious because we here and we stood our ground, you know, and did what we do. So, you know, gunshots to the rat bastards that don't understand that and the flip-flop wearing in public dudes. I don't respect them, you know what I mean? But I understand you. But just claim who you are and we good. All right, this one is about how I got cut in the face at USP Lompoc, man. This is about how I got cut in the face in USP Lompoc and how, you know, the homies look out for each other when we're not in a situation. All right? Unique Mecca Audio, man. I'm gonna tell you about this one, man. Y'all been waiting on this one, so I'm gonna give it to y'all, man. You know, I give it to you real raw in the cut. And, you know, I give the people what they need. You know what I mean? Now, you know, I'm in Lompoc. I was in Allenwood, and, you know, I'm turned up. I'm just keeping it 100. None of this to brag boast. It's just to tell the youngins you don't want to have to go through this, because none of this was nothing nice. But I'm in Lompoc. I mean, Allenwood. I'm turning it up. You know, I'm selling dope. I'm getting dope in. I'm doing what I got to do. And then I wound up getting transferred out to Lompoc, California. They sent me from one end of the country to the next end of the country to, you know, one of the worst penitentiaries in the United States. Definitely the worst in the federal system on the West Coast. So they send me out there. I get out there and I get to Oklahoma. When I got to Oklahoma, that's how I really realized how serious, you know, this government was. This was at the time when they was picking up immigrants where I think his name was Joe Apaya, you know what I mean, out of Arizona, that was giving, he built tents for the inmates and was giving them pink jumpsuits to wear to degrade them, you know. Then he went a step further and he started picking up anybody if you wasn't white. The police had the power to pull you over and tell you to show proof that you was a citizen, or they'll lock you up until you show proof you're a citizen. So they went off on Joe Apaya about that because the Supreme Court even told him they couldn't do it, but he still went ahead and did it anyway. Now, they was locking up so many immigrants, right? When I went through Oklahoma, I'm from the East Coast, you know. I did my time on the East Coast, went through Oklahoma back in 95 to go to ADX, you know, and then, you know, came out, went to Allenwood, and now I'm going back through Oklahoma 5 years later. So when I'm going through there 5 years later, I noticed that they had these little areas that was an eating area, you play cards or whatever, And when I went through there the first time, it was majority blacks. But then now, I go through there 5 years later, and it was all immigrants, Mexicans. You know what I mean? Everybody with a lighter complexion, and it was the minority in the prison was blacks. I've never seen that in my life. You know, so it was like 2 tables for blacks and then like 20, 30 tables for immigrants. You know, so I said, oh man, the world done changed. So now they sent me out to Lompoc. When I get to Lompoc, they fly me out there, and I get off the bus, and the police come take me out, and they already have my name on my card because I got the red flag for stabbing the police and allegedly stabbing the police in Lewisburg and winding up in, ADX. And as soon as I came off, they called my name to the front, and they said, oh, your homie's here, I said, who? I ain't got no homie. They said, nah, Big C is here, and I'm just letting you know that, we don't tolerate a lot of bull crap, blah, 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 blah. We'll give you the rest when you get there, but your homie is there, so you're going to be all right. But at the time C was in the hole, he got caught up in something. So when I get there to Lompoc, I hit the compound. They take me through the R&D process, where, receiving and discharge, where they take all my information and then they slide me up in a cell, and I get in a cell with a dude from Alaska. I'll tell you about that one a little later. So I get in a dude from Alaska. I never met a black person from Alaska. I didn't even know they had blacks in Alaska. So this is, this is eye-opening to me, just like a lot of our people watching this never even left their state. A lot of them never left the 5 boroughs. You know what I mean? And it was crazy because a black dude from Alaska, never dreamt of that a day in my life. But then now I get there and I go to the yard, and while I'm walking the yard with the homies and me and the homies talking, everything is all good. And then here come these Mexicans walking across the compound. They come walking straight across. They got their hands in their pocket. They mincing, and my homeboys is with me. So, my homeboys kind of surround me to like we ready for war. So dude walked up, and at the last minute, take his hands out of his pocket. We step back. We're about to bust off, thinking something ready to go on, because the first thing they do was give me a knife. And he reaches his hand out, and he gives me 5. And when he slaps me 5, there's 3 balloons of heroin in the palm of his hands. I take these 3 balloons of heroin and I put them in my pocket. So he turned around, he said, that's from Champ, For those of y'all don't know, my brothers in the West Coast, official gangbangers, they already know. Champ is, one of the forefathers of founders of the California Emmy. I was with Champ over in ADX. So Champ sent word that I was coming. They gave me a gift of 3 balloons, 3 grams in each. That's 9 grams just coming on a pound. Each gram goes for $500. You can buy the 3 balloons wholesale for $500. Or when you buy for $500, you can sell each one for $500, and you still make $1,000 profit, so you double your money. If you bust it down off of each gram, you're going to make $3,000. See the game I'm giving you? That's why I say the game is to be sold, not told. But anyway, so they give it to me. I shoot back in the unit. When I shoot back in the unit, I hook up with my man that, from the West Coast that was in the unit that was cool with me. You know what I mean? I'm not even going to say his name right now because this is, dealing with drugs and certain things. And he might not want his name out there, and that's how we respect each other. Before I say people's names, I get their permission because I'm in contact with them. So now we up in the joint, and I bust him down. I give him a gram to look out for the Crips because he was a Crip. You know what I mean? Then I had a blood homie. You know what I mean? I gives him a gram, make sure he, looks out for them. And, just told him, just bring me back 400. It was 500 on the pound. So that give them room where they could bust it up, make $3,000 and look out for the Crips with $3,000. You know what I mean? With jailhouse money. Or they could sell it whole, for 500, make 100. But, that ain't nothing because we dealing with a man, So we takes that. Now, everything is going good. So this was the Serenos that brought it to me. The Serenos don't deal with blacks. Let's get that straight. Serenos don't deal with blacks out there in California. They don't even sell with us. They're not allowed to drink with us, eat with us. They're not allowed to do anything with us, But the Border Brothers is allowed. So the Border Brothers was there. So what happened is the Serenos had, the police, all this already documented. So you rat bastards looking for something to say, go find somewhere else to go and let the people that want the jewels get the jewels. So the Serenos was the ones that had the police. The police bring it in. and we doing what we got to do. They wound up closing the prison behind this to show you how all this is already out. So you ain't got to say nothing, because the Serenos had a big fight, a big riot in M Unit, and I told you all about that. And that's how they wound up shutting down Lompoc, because it was just out of control. So they made it a medium security so they could try and control it by putting other mines other than kingpin mines like mines in this joint. So we sitting there, and the Serenos would give the drugs to the Border Brothers, and the Border Brothers was allowed to deal with the blacks. So the Serenos get the drugs, they give it to the Border Brothers, and then the Border Brothers sell it to us. But the Serenos, they were so intricate. Got to give them a round of applause. Got to give them a round of applause. Got to give them a round of applause. All right, calm down. Let me finish my story, please. Now, the Serenos was so intricate. They get the drugs, and it was getting like a half a key. You know what I mean? That's 18 ounces. You know what I mean? In California, joint, that's 12 and a half. Because they call it $25 grams, But they're getting a little half a key. So they're getting a half a key in the joint, and they broke it down and gave everybody, that sent their money up front to help fund the package coming in, and the ones that was buying it, they gave it to the other minorities and other, gang members, like I said, Border Brothers and things like that. But when they give it to the Border Brothers, they tell the Border Brothers, you can't sell nothing until after we sell ours and we're done. So we get first run. Do you understand that? You hear the jewels you getting? The Serenos told the Border Brothers, don't sell nothing to nobody until we give you the green light. Just hold on to the drugs, because we going to get our money first. Then we fall back. When you put it out there to the rest of the compound and the chaos begin, the Serenos is laid back in comfort, enjoying the fruits of their labor. This is prison. This is chess. You understand? So y'all pay attention. So now, they out there, they doing their thing. They give something to a dude from North Carolina, another Spanish dude, the Border Brothers, So he couldn't even deal with the Serenos, because he hung with blacks and things like that. And, I think he was really, he studied Native American, what we call in the prison Indians. When I say Indian, is, like he was an Indian, it's not to be disrespectful. That's just a label that we give them in there. But their proper terminology is Native American. So being that he wasn't, Mexican, they wouldn't deal with him. He had to go through the Border Brothers. But on the strength of champ, and allegiance to each other from ADX, the Serenos dealt directly with me. And when they put it in my hands, they told me the same thing. Don't sell nothing until after we done. And we on man time. You respect that. You violate that, you get punished. End of story, no matter who you are. When you give your word to something, that's what it is. Morals and principles of the code to this game. So I couldn't sell nothing until they was done. Neither, and the Border Brothers couldn't give out nothing to the people that even paid for it or sell anything until the Serenos was done. When they was done what we call rape in the yard, then they allowed us to go. But people wide open, they still ready to spend money, and money still spent, so we all still make money in a rapid pace. So while we doing that, dude from North Carolina, he using it. He's shooting. I don't sniff, I don't do none of that. This is black tar. I don't do none of that. So all I'm doing is selling mine. So what I do is I hold mines back. You understand what I'm saying? I get whatever quick money I could get, break the homies off, make sure the homies is good. So I might give the homies a gram. You understand what I'm saying? I give them a gram, they bust it down, and they look out for the other people in the car. That's in case something happened. It's just to make sure that everybody's eating so that they, it's a reason for them holding you down if something go down. You understand what I'm saying? So, that's what it is. You gotta feed the team. You can't sit there, get all the money, say you ain't gonna do this. Remember, little Chinese Jimmy did that. I might do the little Chinese Jimmy story this week, because I found a picture with me and all the Chinese brothers, the Asian brothers, as y'all call them, but in prison we just call them Chinese, So I found that picture, so I'm gonna do the little Jimmy story. Little Jimmy was one of those dudes that was running by himself. He running by himself and said he was from New York. He said he's not from New York, not running with the New York car, and there wasn't no other Chinese people there, so he wasn't running with the Italians who was from New York. He wasn't running with nobody. He was doing his own thing. He wound up getting caught up. They saw he was by himself, So they tried to bring him a move. They brought him a move, ran up on him 6 a.m, put a bunch of books around his waist, grabbed his knife, tied it onto his wrist, and was waiting for him to come. When they ran the cell thinking that he sleep, little Chinese Jimmy jumped up out there, put his work in. They grabbed little Jimmy because he was small. He was about $120. They tried to grab little Jimmy and throw him over the rail in Lompoc. over the third tier rail was at, try to throw him over the rail. But that's because he rolling by himself, so he ain't got no help. But little Jimmy handled his own and wound up getting out of there. Then he went down to R&D, ran to dudes again, and then he wound up getting punished. And then now I left off where he wound up in Oklahoma, which was a transit hub. In order for you to go anywhere in the country, you got to go to Oklahoma. They process your paper, and then they put you on a plane or a bus to wherever you're going. If you're in the vicinity, that's how it go. You see the game that I'm giving? You know what I mean? You see the jewels that I'm giving? That's why I say, man, you know what I mean? The game to be sold, not told. Cash App is on the screen. Make sure it says July 2020 was created, not April 2023. That's a fake. The picture of me on it is a fake. It's the logo. He going to change his logo because he watches these videos, but just know that he can't change that it was created in July 2020. You know what I mean? That's the Cash App. That's mine. But anyway, so that's where I left off with Lil Jimmy. So let me ride. So now we back. I'm doing my thing, and while I'm doing my thing, they did urines. They did urine tests in the prison, regular. Like once a month, twice a month, they do urines. So they'll hit all the shot callers at one time for a urine. So all the shot callers took their urine, and they always try and wait till the drugs come in so they could catch them, high. So they caught all the shot callers high. All the shot callers go to the hole. You know what I mean? They all locked up. So now while they in the hole, they send word out that they need their money. They want their money sent such and such because they're going to be doing 45 to 60 days in the shoe for this dirty urine, and they want their money off the street, you know what I mean? Meaning the compound, before you know what I mean? They get out the hole. So now they send word out. So when they send word out saying that they want all their money off the compound, the dude that I'm telling you about from North Carolina that was also getting hit heavy like me, he busy shooting his drugs and getting high and chilling and doing what he got to do, so he's shooting up all his profit. I'm not shooting up no profit because I don't get high. I'm not doing nothing. All I'm doing is just stacking paper. So I even dropped the price, you know what I mean, to make it cheaper so I could get rid of it fast. So they turned around and the Serenos shot me another 10 grams that somebody that couldn't sell it knew he couldn't have the money by Monday. So he said, okay, here go what I got left out of what you gave me, and here goes the money for what I did sell, so everything adds up. So they contact me and they say, yo, the big homie said for you to knock this extra 10 grams out. They give me the extra 10 grams. So now I'm moving mine for $400, $300 a gram when it's going for between $500, $800, sometimes $1,000 for a gram. So now I'm like cutting throat with everybody. Not good, but it's a good business strategy. But anyway, so I'm in there and I'm cutting everybody throat. This dude now from North Carolina, he couldn't make his quota because he shot up all his profit. And when me selling mine cheaper, nobody's buying from him. They all buying from me. So he goes to my homies and he tell my homies that they need him to tell me to chill so he could sell his drugs. You know, like how the Sereno said, don't sell nothing, and chill till after we sell our drugs. So he tried to get them to talk to me. And of course, they said, man, we can't tell that man what to do. He his own man. Like I said, let's get this straight. I'm not no killer. I'm not none of that. You know what I mean? I'm just about getting money, but I'm not going to let nobody take nothing from me. So let's get that right. I'm not on YouTube. I'm not running around on the street. I'm not doing none of that professing to be a killer. I got killer homies. You know what I mean? Big shout out to my man, Lou Sims. Let me show you who Lou Sims is. This is a prison picture so you can see. You know what I mean? I got dudes that, you know what I mean? Those are killers. I'm a party dude. I get money. I have fun, and that's what it is. Lou handles his business. You know what I mean? That's the big homie. Let's get that right. So now we sitting there. Let me take Lou off and finish the story. I'm going to get back to Lou and put up a couple of pictures of Lou so y'all know who Lou is. All right? So now, that's Big Lou. Like I said, so I'm not up here saying I'm no killer or nothing, but like I said, everybody know I hold my own. I don't look for no problems. I even try and duck problems, keeping it 100, because I knew I had life plus 20. I didn't have a date, so I got to work my way out and finesse myself out of this trap, box that I found myself in. So I'm trying to stay away from problems. So certain things that they call penitentiary rules or whatever, I don't follow them. I follow my own rules to make my own choices so I could be out here with my family, and it worked. I'm out here with my family. A lot of people might not agree with me duck and wreck, as I said, I keep it 100, because you got to think for these knuckleheads. But anyway, let me ride. Gunshots. Let me get back to where I'm at. So now, dude goes to the homies. The homies tell him, nah, they can't tell me what to do. Da, da, da. So now, at the same time, they had a big bus shipment over to Pollock was just opening up, and Lee County was just opening up. This back like 2001. This when they opened up. So they saying half the people there, they were just trying to fill up the bed space. So dudes that was doing good, that was really supposed to be in a medium security, but they was jacking them off and didn't want to send them to a medium. They sent them to these new jails so that they could be on the compound so that these new police from the area, because they had to put the police that live in the area to work there. So these are fresh young people off the street, don't know how to move. So they trained them on these dudes where their temperament was a little different, and they was minimum security material, but they was still in the penitentiary, but still go hard. So they sent one of the homies out to Lompoc. Not Lompoc, out to Lee County. He gets out to Lee County. When he get to Lee County, he found out that one of the homies that was with us in New York was hot. They was really no good. You know what I mean? So when he finds out he was no good, he sends me a kite. So when he sends me a kite with the paperwork showing that he's no good, everything goes with paperwork, even though I would have took his word for it, because if a man give you his word and he's your man, and you know he's about his word, he's not into the YouTube just putting any bone on anybody. When he do that, you could take it as a stamp. But he had the paperwork, so he sent the paperwork. So I go tell the homies, the homies there, and, at the new joint, he sent me a joint how the jail is. I didn't know he was sending the paperwork that dude was hot. I just knew that he was sending the kite back to tell me what it was like on this new plantation, because this is no different than prison. So now when he sends the joint back, my child's mother that he sent the paperwork to, she usually wait till you get a few letters from the kids and all that, and she put them all in an envelope. Then she put all the kites that came from different jails, from different homies, in with the letters to the kids. And when they read it, they don't really know what happened. It'd be so many letters and kids talking kid talk that they don't even read all of it, and they slide it in. That's how you get it in. But, my kids was taking a little longer to write, so he took a little longer to send it to me. So I told the homies I got a letter coming with a homie telling us what it was like there. But at the same time, I didn't know that there was a letter coming with the paperwork. That dude that we had there was hot, but we didn't know he was hot. So now somebody was at the jail where he was at. They knew what was going on there, because it was a big thing. The dude that produced the paperwork on the dude that was with me that was hot was also hot. You know what I mean? Pay attention. Youngins, don't go to prison so you ain't got to get caught up in this and try and keep it with this twisted ass story. You know what I mean? But now, the dude that was there talked to the dude that was hot sister on the phone. So he told his sister, yo, the paperwork getting ready to go to Unique. They found out that he hot, da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? So now she tells her brother. So he got the ups on me. He knows that the paperwork is getting ready to come, that he's hot. So now he got to get me off the compound and discredit me. You understand what I'm saying? So he tries to get me off the compound. At the same time, we got the dude from North Carolina needed me off the compound, or needed me to stop selling my drugs so he could make his quota to pay the debt by Monday after he done shot up all his profits. See, all this is just flow, because this is all natural, just telling you what happened. So now he takes the hit from the dude from North Carolina. It's a Spanish dude. He's Puerto Rican, matter of fact. But like I said, he ran with the Native Americans. So he takes the hit. When he takes the hit, the dude gives him 3 balloons. And there's a dude that came there that was on He Cypher Monkey Cypher time. And we not on the He Cypher Monkey Cypher time. If you're a He Cypher Monkey Cypher and you keep it within the car and deal with other He Cypher Monkey Cyphers in the car, then, as long as you keep that over there, we don't see it, we don't know it. That's one thing. But we tell them don't go mixing with the He Cypher Monkey Cyphers from another car, because we don't want to be that New York is on He Cypher Monkey Cypher time with dudes from another car, because now it makes us look weak and it puts the business out there and all that. But if you keep it in the closet, in the cell with your homies, like how y'all do it out here, do it in the closet. Y'all keep that over there. But everybody know everybody's doing anything. So nobody could come up here and say that they wasn't doing this, wasn't doing that. You know what I mean? Because everything is already out there. So now, dude that's on He Cypher Monkey Cypher time, he gets with, a white guy, and does, He Cypher Monkey Cypher time with him. And the white dude went out telling everybody he did the He Cypher Monkey Cypher time with the New York dude. So when we found out he did the He Cypher Monkey Cypher time with the white dude, now dudes is ready to run on the top. But the first dude that found out about it was the dude that had the paperwork coming on that was hot. So when he finds out paperwork coming he's hot, he used that as his ammunition to tell dude, yo, dude's gonna run your top, because they found out you did He Cypher Monkey Cypher time with this white boy and you're making the car look bad. And they said the only way for you to fix your face is that you gotta rip Unique. That's how I got my $150. All right, pay attention. That's how I got the $150. You know what I mean? He Cypher Monkey Cypher trying to stay on the compound, and somebody told him that was He Cypher Truth. That means hot. That the homie said you got to do Unique, and that's the way it works in the prison. Big shout out to the dude that ripped me. Big shout out to the dude that ripped me. You know what I mean? Because it is what it is. Calm down, y'all. We all on the losing end sometime or another. I got ripped, I was on the losing end. My homie, like I said, you know what I mean? My homie, Luke, he was also on, the losing end. You know what I mean? And Big Tone, everybody, it don't matter how big you are, you're not immune from being on the losing end. You know what I mean? Big Lou got stabbed in the stomach. He that's old gangster. He refused to go to the hospital. You know what I mean? And when the police, they do little body checks and they see that you stabbed or you got wounds or scratches, when they know something went down, then they lock you up in, in administrative detention and da-da-da. But when they found Lou and he had his stomach ripped, had a little hole in his stomach that really wasn't nothing, but, he think it's nothing. He could just patch it up and keep moving, so he go in his cell to go lay down. But the police found out he got hit, so when they went and got him, they took him to the outside hospital, and that saved the big homie's life. All that is to say that we all could be on the losing end. You know what I mean? Big Tone, Antone White that I speak about from D.C., he also was on the losing end at one time or another. Then we got Big C that was on the losing end from Supreme Team. Rest in peace to Big C. And round of applause to Big C, Big Lou, and Antone White. You know what I mean? Calm down, y'all. Calm down. These are all brothers that was straight gangsters, straight men, follow the principles and the code. Big C, from the Supreme Team, Harry Hunt, he lost his life in Beaumont. Just so you understand. Let's get this right, all right? I'm on a roll. I'm just chilling right now. So that's where we at, just so you understand. So we all on the losing end, So here goes, dude, he paid dude. I'm sitting down in the yard, and I'm talking to somebody. And while I'm talking to somebody, he's on this side. So I'm looking at him over here while I'm talking to him. Dude came from my blind side, grabbed me by the chin, and took the razor and ripped me in my face. Welcome to the penitentiary. Round of applause to the dude that ripped me in the face. You know what I mean? All is a part of penitentiary living, man. You leave that behind and you move forward. Calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. You know what I mean? But this is how it play out, just so you understand. So you youngins that think it's sweet, you got to have this mentality to know that, man, it's a part of being on the street, man. Just like getting caught and shutting the F up, that's a part of being on the street. Just like being at the losing end, that's a part of being on the street. So now, when I get cut, you know what I mean? Dude checked in, he ran inside. Well, he ran in the unit, and he told one of the homies, Jamaican homie, yeah, I just took care that I ripped Unique on the yard. He thinking the homie knew about what happened. So dude said, you did what? Because the deuces just went off. He said, yeah, I just ripped Unique on the yard. So dude punched him in the face, and as soon as he punched him in the face, he knew dude getting ready to get a knife. So could dude put the knife up, because the deuces went off, they getting ready to come in and do the body search to see if anybody snuck past the metal detector like this dude that ripped me did, the he cipher, monkey cipher dude. And I'm not even going to say his name, because it's not about disrespecting anybody. I was, come on, man, it's all prison. But anyway, so he runs and he go check in. So he goes to the hole, they lock me up. They take me in the in the medical, and when they take me to medical, my whole face ripped open. Now I got the police standing over me, asking me, what happened? And I'm like, yo, I got cut on the fence. And they're like, nah, come on, what happened? I'm like, yo, I got cut on the fence. So now here comes the captain. The captain walked in, never forget him, old gangster. Captain walked in, and they all around me, and they telling the doctors, don't stitch me up unless I tell. Can you believe this? My whole face ripped open, and they telling me, don't stitch me up unless I tell them who cut me. The captain walked in, and the captain told him, hold up, man. Because I was with the captain in ADX also when he was just a lieutenant. So the captain walked in, and he said, yo, what's up, you need? I said, nah, everything good. He said, what happened? I said, man, I got caught on the fence. He said, that's your story? I said, yeah. You know what I mean? He said, all right, well, look, I don't care about you. I don't care about you getting cut, like you don't care about if I get in a car accident when I go drive home. And, so I'm telling you straight up, only thing I do care about is, can I open my penitentiary up? By him asking that, he had to say nothing else. That's all he said. Can I open my penitentiary up? Because the compound was on lockdown now because they don't know what happened. And I told him straight up, yo, the fence don't retaliate, man. I got cut on the fence, And the dude said, and the doctor jumped in now, Indian dude, he was excellent. Look how good he cut me. He did my joint. We barely even noticed. No keloid or nothing, what I mean? Big shout out to the doctor that stitched me up. Big shout out. Big shout out. All right, relax, man. God, dog. So now, check it out. So the doctor steps in, and the doctor said, no, that was a razor blade. It's too clean. You can tell the way it went. It's a straight line. It's a this and that. You know what I mean? And the captain told him, I don't care. He said he got caught on the fence. Less paperwork for us. He's on man time. He's not going to tell us nothing, so let's not waste our time. Let's stitch him up and get our compound open. So they wound up giving me 16 stitches on the white meat to hold that in. Because first they had to stitch the white meat. Just picture what I'm telling you. 16 stitches on the white meat, and then another 16 stitches on the black meat to hold it up, to line each stitch up perfectly. And they did this in the penitentiary, and I'm still handsome as ever. You know what I mean? Come on, man. This is what it is. Just so you understand. So now the captain, says, where's his property? You know what I mean? So they say right there. He said, okay, well, give him his property and put him in the shoe. So, you know, they already know that, you know, and I probably might have cigarettes in the pocket or whatever. So they figure let you go up there and do what you got to do, because they treat everybody like that. They don't really give a crap. So they say, give him his property. So I go up in the shoe, and I go up in the shoe. Now I'm going to have to tell y'all this one. Put in the comment if you want to know about it. That day when I got cut and I went up in the shoe, the same day I got cut, about 5:30 in the afternoon, doing 4 o'clock count, it was a white dude that was shooting dope, calling home, harassing his family for money, wound up getting caught up and couldn't pay the debts and couldn't deal with the pressure of what's going to happen to him for not paying the debt. So what he did was he took his sheet, wrapped it around his neck, and hung himself. And they just took him out of there at 4:30, and they put me in the cell where the dead man was just in at 5:30. You know? So when I get in the cell, everybody's yelling down to me and knocking on the walls, telling me, yo, you remember such and such, a white dude that was in there? You and say, yeah, well, he hung himself in your cell an hour ago. So now I got to sit here thinking, do I worry about his ghost coming to get me that night? You understand what I'm saying? So this is the type of crap that you got to go through. So if you youngins want to go through all this, go to prison, do what you got to do, man. You know? But I'm telling you, don't do it. It ain't worth it. So now I'm in the joint. So now I got to suck it up. And I'm like, damn, how do I fight a ghost if this boy ghost come back to try and haunt me? You know what I mean? So the first night I didn't sleep. I ain't even want to close my eyes because I didn't want to think about this boy. Just keep it at 100. I try to tell you, like, I'm tough. I don't worry about it. I worry about all that. And, you know, as a Muslim, we don't even worry about the afterlife. But just somebody even telling you that and you even picturing. And I know the white dude. And I just seen him like the day before. But he had checked in because he owed money. And then now he hang himself and I'm in his cell. So all of that is in my mind. So, you know, to speed it up. So what I do now is I winds up calling the female on the street and I tell her what happened and she passed the word over to Lou. When she passed the word over to Lou and Lou found out what happened, you know, it's the big homie, he put the word out. And Big C, you know what I mean? Big shout out to Big C, you know, rest in peace. You know, so I sent the word over to Lou and, you know, Lou winds up, you know, putting the word out and sending kites to the other penitentiary, you know, that if dude landed there for him to get him, and he was still on the compound, so Lou wound up sending word back to Lompoc. I couldn't write no kites, you know, to tell nobody nothing. I talked to girlfriend on the phone, you know what I mean, through the counter office. So I couldn't write no kite because they reading all the mails from us up in the hole so they could get information to do their investigation so, you know, we can't say nothing, you know what I mean? So when you call the council phones, like a recorded council call, so, you know, you call straight through. So I called, she told Lou what happened. Lou relayed the message back and forth, said, don't worry about it, homie, I got you. So I just told me, just hold up, let me leave the compound because I didn't want to get caught up in whatever happened and they dragged me longer. But they wound up keeping me there a whole year. They kept me on the compound a whole year in the hole because they were punishing me because I wouldn't help them with the investigation and told them who cut me. So after a year, they sent me out to, where was that? They sent me out to Coleman. So I get out to Coleman. Coleman just opened up, right? They just opened up Coleman the same time when they opened up Lee County and Pollock. They opened up Coleman. So they sent me out to Coleman. So when I get out to Coleman, I'm there like 45 days. You know what I mean? As soon as I get there, they come to me one day and they say, yo, pack your stuff. You're getting transferred in the morning. You know what I mean? I'm like, what? So I told the homies, yo, they just called me lieutenant, talking about pack my stuff, I'm getting transferred in the morning. They're like, nah, they can't do that. They don't even do that. They don't even tell you when you're leaving. They don't tell you nothing. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, but that's what they just told me. They said, man, they faking. You ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? So 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm in there. I'm just smoked me a good joint, drunk some white lightning. They come bust my door and they say, you packed up yet? And I said, huh? And they said, get all your stuff. My stuff wasn't even packed. They said, all right, well, just cuff up. They cuffed me up, took all my stuff, threw it in a bag, you know, in a green bag, army bags, took it down to R&D and dumped it all in boxes. And that morning by 7 o'clock, they came with, you know, the police vans and, you know, all this old crap. And they drove me straight from Coleman, Florida, all the way to Lee County, Virginia. By the time we get there that night, soon we get on the compound, they got this SIS that was there with us in Lompoc. And when I got there, they said, look, I know you shake and bake. I know what you do. I already know what happened. I don't know what's happening at this time yet. So he said, yo, dude got cut in Lompoc. They feel you sent the word out. Coleman didn't want to hold you there because a new jail, you know, and they not cut like we are. I let our people rock and roll. So I'm letting you know now I'm going to let you on the compound, but I don't want no problems on my compound. You know what I mean? So I said, yeah, all right, whatever. So they let me on the compound. So when they let me on the compound, that's how I found out that, you know, Big Lou done sent the word out and got dude whole joint, you know, chopped up. You know, but that's how big homies do. Now, the other night, I was with the homie, you know, at Guy Fisher's Harlem Honors thing. Now, this is me, him, and Sugar J. You know, this is us as free men. I had life plus 20 with no chance of parole. My brother Big Lou was on the death penalty in Alabama. We were supposed to die on death row. Came back to New York. They figured he was going to die, so they gave him a sweet deal for 30 years for the murders that he had. So, of course, as a gangster, he jumped on it. You already know you got to fight the death penalty in 30 years instead of a life sentence like Unique. I'm good. So he grabs the 30 years and he goes back to Alabama, and he winds up beating the death penalty and wound up with only the 30 years. Now he home. I got the first step act. Now I'm home. We with the good young brother. Round of applause to Sugar J, Big Lou, and Unique. You know what I mean? And that was us. Relax, y'all. Relax. That was us on at Guy Fisher joint. You know what I mean? That's where all of us that been through the struggle, we go represent each other. So they gave him an award. So me, him, OG Daniel, he also got an award that night. You know what I mean? Billy Bates was there. You know what I mean? The joint was just epic. You know what I mean? Cisco was there. You know what I mean? The joint was epic. I could sit here naming names all day. You know, Big Vaughn was there. You understand? Johnny Fresh was there. Spence was there. You know what I mean? The joint was just bananas, man. You know, but we had, even Big Joe came through. You know what I mean? You know, Big Joe, he had the party on Wednesday's birthday party was bananas. I got a video I got to put together for that too. But that's how it is. I just want you to know how, for you youngins listening, pay attention to what I'm saying. Pay attention. Please pay attention. I'm telling you it's not worth it. But I'm telling you, if you choose to do it, follow the code of the streets and the prison, and don't violate, because you could lose your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? But, to make a long story short, to get down to where we at right now, man, you know what I mean? Because I've been on here long enough already. Big Lou handled his business. I appreciate him. You know what I mean? I love him to death. That's my brother. You know what I mean? And, that's how we do it, because we have shot callers, you know what I mean, on the compound. Like DC don't call them shot callers, because they call them like they all homies, they all men. But DC got their whole system in the prison, so they got a lot of guys from different places. A lot of guys that's cut from different cloth, but got caught up in the DC area. But in New York, is a handful of us, so we got a shot caller. That's Big Lou. He runs the compounds. You got an issue, you contact Lou. Lou handles his business. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, and I started off as a soldier. You know what I mean? And I became a king, you know what I mean? Just like Lou started off as a soldier and he became a king, but we respect each other as men. And that's the end of it, because we follow the same code. So I just want to let y'all know, thanks for tapping in. That's how that went. Don't go to prison. The Cash App is on the screen. Make sure it says July 2020 was created, not April 2023. Cop the Boca Raw in Harlem. Go to my Roku channel, Unique Mecca Audio. Go to my Spotify and iTunes, whatever they call it, podcast, to go listen to the videos if you're driving the truck or you on a plane or whatever, and you don't want to do it. You can download them right from there. Go download the videos, and you always have them in your phone. So when you got no internet, you can still play it. But now I say all that to say, man, I thank y'all for tapping in, man. I want to thank the big homie Lou Sims. Oh, yeah, and another thing. A lot of people don't understand. I pay props and homage to those that need it paid, because they paid to me. You understand? People paid to me. Now we have, like I said, the big homie Tone, you know what I mean? From DC. You got Larry Moe from DC. You got Law. You got Big Red. I introduced you to. You got ER. You got all types of men. Then we got Big Lou. We got Peter Shue. We got Kevin Childs. We got men that was in the system. Big Cisco did his in the state. You know what I mean? We got all types of men. You understand? So when I come on here and I give a man his flowers, you get the weak rat bastards. You know what I mean? Say, oh, he on his dick. No, in your world is that. And our world is just paying homage to each other, because if we don't give each other flowers, who can? You understand? In other words, you got to ask yourself, who's the messenger? Are they qualified to give me the flowers? If they're legal civilian, they give me my flowers, then they're qualified. But if they enter the game and they're a rat bastard, excuse the language, gunshot, you know what I mean? Then what they say don't count. You know what I mean? Let's just say that. No disrespect to anybody, but just let it know what it is. Big Lou, thank you. You know what I mean? And Tone White, You know what I mean? All the names that I mentioned. Thank you, Larry Moore, everybody for being there for me. I appreciate all of y'all, man. And this is how men do. For y'all that don't understand, stick around, because this is a gangster channel where I talk to gangsters about the gangster code and the people that want to know about a gangster and the gangster code. All right?
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. Bruh. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours. So we can give back to the youth them, cause they the truth them, and bless up to all the rudiments.